Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There are some messages that I want to share with you guys. The first message, we received it via our WhatsApp number. You can use that same WhatsApp number that is appearing on your screen. The message reads like this: I am a man from Botswana. I have a problem. This is a tokoloshi that is troubling me at night. This thing, it is owned by my relatives. It gives my relatives a lot of riches, but they send it to me every night to have sexual intercourse with me. There is this guy from the family who is a driver, but the kind of achievement he has is really questionable. One day in the night, I saw him in a dream. When I saw him in the dreams, he was burning some charms, and I placed my palms on the pedals of a car. That is how he stole my destiny. The very same guy, I also once saw him in a dream. They were doing sacrifices, but they were doing these sacrifices using a dog. Every time that I try to help myself so that I can remove this tokoloshi from me, I always see these people doing something late in the night. I spent a lot of money trying to look for help, but this tokoloshi does not go away. Please, I need help. Can someone recommend a strong spiritualist that can help me? Dear listeners, right there was a message that we received via our WhatsApp number. If you have any kind of assistance that you want to offer to our dear brother, please do not hesitate to contact us. Then there is a message that we received via our email address, and the message was forwarded to me by one of our admins. The message reads like this: Hello, how are you? I am from Ghana. My guy, I got a confession to make. I want people to know that there is no happiness when you are on the dark side. I haven't worked in 10 good years. I am a married man and I have 2 boys. Ever since the day that I got married, after I had impregnated this other girl, that was when my life came to a stop. And no matter what I try to do, nothing is working out. I would try this and that, but nothing would work for me. I would go out looking for a job and work. Then 2 days later, the boss will just fire me out of nowhere. I felt that I had a bad omen and I was the unluckiest man in the world. My wife was working here and there. She is the one who kept us afloat. I started feeling like a failure, and I was indeed a failure. As a man, I would want to contribute financially, but I could not, and I had no say when it came to anything in my own household. I had no money, so I had to keep my mouth shut always. My family and my sisters would make comments like, he is the one who was married by the wife. He is a she. He is ruled by the woman because he is poor. Guys, you can be strong, but 10 years, 10 Christmases, and I could not even send my parents anything for Christmas because I was not working. As a child, you would want to contribute in the family plans and meetings when there was a need, but I couldn't because I was always broke. I sat down and I had tried. Guys, I truly tried. I had tried to run around to do all small pieceworks that I could get, but nothing materialized. I then met a friend who told me that my problem was a spiritual problem. He said that it was abnormal that I had suffered for 10 good years, and I believed him. I was a man because I had the private parts only, but the rest I was more like a helpless woman, an unemployed one. I had no power. My wife could not even listen to me. She was now the man of the house since she was financially stable and I was not financially independent. The friend then told me that we had to travel together to another country, to a nearby country, so that we can get help. When we went there, I was told that my destiny lies in my wife's pads, those ones that she uses when she is on her periods. That occultist told me that the items that were needed were my wife's pads and her underwear, the ones that were not washed. Since I was almost like the woman in the house, this was going to be easy for me, because trying to save my face, I made sure that when my wife would go to work, I would do all the house chores, clean the yard, and so as to impress her. But my wife, she was never impressed. So I took all that I needed and we went on that journey. Upon arrival, I was told to enter into a very dark room, and I was told to take my manhood and force it inside a bottle. I did the procedure of drawing my manhood and gave the old man. He then mixed with my wife's pad and then tied with her panties. I then submitted the list of the people that I loved the most in my fantasy, and these were 9 people. He told me to follow instructions. When I got home, I was not supposed to sleep on the bed in my bedroom. As long as I was home, I was not allowed to sleep on the bed. I got home and followed instructions and started to sleep on the floor. My wife asked me why, and I told her that I really had a painful backache and I had to sleep on the floor. She then chose to join me. This has been the story of my life, and sometimes she joins me and sometimes she gets tired. Money started coming in and it was like a dream. I was encouraged to start a very small shop. The money that I get from that small shop is equivalent to the money that someone who has a big shop will get at the end of the day. The amount that I get, sometimes it can even be multiplied by 10, as if I have a really large supermarket, but I just have a small corner shop. Now I want you to know that if you need money rituals, there are no two ways about it. There is always blood involved. It's either you die in the end or you have to sacrifice your family. After I had given him my list, my brother had to die first. So we went to Accra from our village. That was 2 days after we had returned back from the neighboring country. I didn't have a car and we hiked. We sat at the back of a 4x4 and the car drove on the highway. That day was the darkest day of my life. The first sacrifice really shook me, and I regretted everything that I had done. We were involved in an accident and my brother was thrown from the back of the car. Whilst I watched him as he flew across the sky and he came back to the ground, he was then hit by another car from the behind and the car crushed his head and his brain tissues were all over the place. The car stopped and everyone else in the car was alive and didn't have a scratch, because this accident, it was meant for my brother only. I ran and I held my brother's hand. He looked at me, but even though he looked at me, I saw that he was already dead. I was never hurt like this in my life. My world came crashing on me and it just stopped. I knew that everything that had happened to my brother, it was all because of me. Later that night, my friend came and said I had to be strong. It was going to be okay. Everything was going to be over. And he said that this thing, it will happen to all the people that I had written on that list. I am tired now. I have had my family members die. It has been 7 years now. Yes, I have everything. My wife respects me and everyone in the community calls me Oga, but I am tired of burying my own people. I am left with about 3 years before I die. And if I don't want to die, then I have to find another innocent soul so that I can sacrifice that innocent soul. This is the agreement. If I don't do it, I am going to die. I have a very beautiful house. I have everything, but I am not happy. Never admire things you don't know where they come from. Dear listeners, right there was a message that we received via our email address. If you have any story that you want to share with us, please do not hesitate to contact us.